Hey guys, welcome to V8-Bit. Today we're going to be talking about our top 5 most favorite games of all time for whatever reason. Maybe the most hours you played, or maybe you don't have that many hours in them, you just love it, all right? And we're mainly, are we sticking to consoles?
Yeah.
It's
Or-
at least mine's my number one. Is not a console game.
Okay.
But it's not an arcade.
Not an arcade.
It's still
okay.
a video game. It's a computer game.
Okay. All right. Still a computer game. All right. So, we're going to start 5.
Yep.
Number 5 first. My number 5 is Oh no, we're not doing 5 worst games of all time, right? No, not that one. Hold on. Sorry. RC to go.
I was in my mind like, Mike, you have some defending to do. You got some stuff to say.
No.
You
Okay.
gonna pull ET out next?
My number 5 is NES Contra. And I guess we're going to give a quick little explanation,
Yeah,
right, of why. So, you guys looking for anything today? Okay, if you're wanting to look at some handhelds, we got them over here. We're just shooting a YouTube channel here, video. Okay, you know how it goes. So if we're in the way, just let us know. Come and we'll move out of your way. All right. Contra, and probably how I've judged my games real quick is my top 5 is probably hours played. These games I have are probably the most hours I have in it. And some things, I wrote down a couple things. Some things gets disqualified, even though I might like them better. A real quick honorable mentions. Okay, Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast. Why is it in the top 5? It meant a lot to me when it came out. It was amazing, next gen, but I could never get past like the 4th or 5th level. So I just played the first 3 levels over. That's why it's not. Streets of Rage 2, tons of time. Pitfall 2600, Superman 2600. Reason of that one is I could go anywhere. First open world game, and at that moment I really wanted to play open world games. It took till Grand Theft Auto 3 and 01, right? And this game came out in the late 70s. And Tecmo Bowl on the NES, loved that one. But Contra, this number 5. When it came out, it was just so smooth playing. It had such replay value. I probably replayed this game from beginning to end. I'm going to say minimum of 100 times. And of course, one of the reasons was because the Contra code. You could get 30 lives and beat the game. Could I beat it with 3 lives? No way.
Yeah.
Not even close. So that's probably one of the reasons why I kept playing it. Not just because of that, not because of the hours. It is a great game. Is there another game I like better on the NES? Not in my box.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Yeah, but there's probably a couple other games that I maybe have more fun points to them that I've played. But overall, this is probably my number 5 game.
Yes. Do you have any comments on Contra?
I just remember playing that game, loving that game. That was a game that I played quite a bit too, and I would probably say it's probably definitely my honorable mention ones.
Honorable mention. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I played it some too. I remember playing it. Not as much. NES was right around. Yeah, that's still young at that age, starting to play. So it didn't make the consideration for me, but it still is a great game.
Still a great game. All right, Nate, you're number 5. Dun dun dun.
My number 5 is.
He's gonna be a wild card.
No, that's my
Yes. This and Crisscross, I remember playing quite a bit on Sega CD.
So you really did play Marky
Oh,
Mark.
I did. This is why I freaked out when you
are
had it.
Are you sure this is not a top 5 worst game?
I think that is a top 5 one.
This only because I played this in Crisscross a whole lot.
So
When I got
that's
that.
a true. This is
That's
true.
true.
You're the one person who
I'm
really
the one
likes
person
that
who
game.
has this.
So the focus group was on you.
The
for
focus
this
group
game.
was on me
Alright.
on this.
Okay.
And
This
it's still
game
sealed.
and Crisscross,
And this is still
and this is still sealed. Yeah.
right.
Because you're not playing it anymore.
No, I'm keeping this for good fond memories.
Yeah, I
That's
bet you.
that's how much he loves it. You can't play it.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I would say just for a sheer amount of time playing, and like I said, this one more than Crisscross, but the whole teach yourself to dance, teaching you dance moves. Back when I was younger, that was one of the
Do
reasons
you
why.
have a copy not sealed
No,
to actually play it? So that's
No.
you need to get one. Right?
I do. I need to get one.
Okay. All right.
I do have a Crisscross, not
Oh,
sealed.
All right.
I don't even know how to follow that. My number 5 is Super Mario World.
Really?
Super far. Yes, this is
Okay.
the first game I remember playing over and over and over again.
All right.
It kept my interest, and so we played this all the time. You know, whenever the Super Nintendo would come out, I remember playing it. You know, during Christmas and everything, and getting the game. And so this was the one that I fought them over playing. My brother and sister playing. We had a fight about
Really?
about who's going to be able to play this game because we all wanted to play
You
it.
all wanted to play that one.
And so I know there's other.
God, I'm glad I was an only child. Sorta. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'd say this is the one that I mean I know there's other Super Mario Brothers 3 or there's other really popular Super Mario Brothers games that may be better, but this is the one I identify with.
Okay.
And so it screeches in at number 5. And I believe I won't give spoilers. That is my only Super Nintendo game.
That's your only Super.
This is my
Okay.
favorite Super Nintendo game.
And your
I'd say.
favorite, and your number 5 game of all time.
Yep.
Do you know what I did with Super Mario World whenever I bought my Super Nintendo? I took it and I go, what the hell? I don't want to play another 2D side scroll after Mario 1, 2, 3. I just put it off to the side.
Mhm.
You know, I really didn't play that game until maybe 6, 8 months later, and then I got into it again.
Mhm.
But I can see why it's a lot of people's top 5,
Yeah.
probably. So, all right, so
Number 4.
on to number 4. Yes. Okay. Dreamcast.
Oof.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2. All right, I have a lot of Dreamcast stuff for me because the Dreamcast to me was first time it was current gen, like what I always envisioned the future to be of gaming was how the Dreamcast played. I'm sure there's stuff on the PC, like maybe Unreal Tournament or stuff like that I didn't play before the Dreamcast come out. But Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I probably have 400 hours on this game. It was the first, and I was never amazing at fighters, but I was decent. But this game had so many characters. It's the first one that that had. I don't know how many characters are in there. I forgot, but it has so many characters, and you had to open them up. You just didn't get them all. But it wasn't. You could put it on an easy level, and you could beat the game. And I would just do combinations of these 3 to get to the end, or these 3 to get to the end. It was just so much fun, and it was the longevity of the game, the characters, and the control on the Dreamcast D-pad was precision.
Mm-hmm.
I only really like this game on the Dreamcast. No, I don't like it on the PS2 or Xbox because the D-pads aren't nearly as mushy. But that's this one would take you for a ride.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number 4.
You got any comments on it? Did you ever really play that game?
I did. Yeah. I mean, growing up, I know there was like 2 camps. You kind of had your Nintendo and you had your Sega, and everyone on my block had, Nintendo. I was one of the few kids that actually had a Sega, and I had a Dreamcast. So every time something kind of new like that came out, I had it, and that's one of the games I remember playing. And I don't know, just my opinion, I always kind of felt like the Sega games were a little more mature, a little more,
Right.
it just, it didn't seem like, I mean, that's just my opinion. They just seem like they're a little more mature.
My experience playing this game is only on the Xbox, and so I'm interested to see I do have a Dreamcast, so I have not played on the Dreamcast, so I might have to buy one of the store's copies and see
It's the
the
best
difference.
control out of the 3.
I like the game. I feel like the game's difficulty progression is really solid. It's not like you hit a wall or like this is unbeatable. You can make it through the game.
That's another reason why I spent so many hours in it. It was because I could get to the end. Very few. There's not too many times I complete a game or can get to the end. Like, did I ever beat? Who's the final guy in Street Fighter? Sagat? No. Bison. M. Bison. Did I ever beat M. Bison? I don't think I ever really did. But this one I got to the end, And
Who's your favorite character to play on there?
The 3 I used the most, and it was always, people say it's cheap, was Cable, because he could just hold you off, and then I would rotate out other characters, but Cable was always number 1. I used to put BB Hood because she had the best super, the 2 triggers, or if that's what you call it, the super, and you could get a 100-hit combo with her in the game. And then the other ones I would rotate in anybody who had a fireball or who I really liked? Captain Commando. and Doctor Doom. But
Mhm.
that's what the thing is. That's what it is about. I could pick so many different characters, and I just liked how they all
What
played.
about you, Nick?
If I had to go back, I definitely did Doctor Doom as well. I remember playing him a lot. I think I did. Golly, now I'm getting things. War Machine
Yeah, War Machine's in it. Right.
and Venom.
Right. Venom was tough.
Yeah, so those are the ones I think, thinking back, are the ones I like to use,
Yeah. Okay.
and maybe some Spider-Man here and
Yeah,
there
Spider-Man throwing him in every now and
Mhm.
then. But that's what's cool. I just love to do the combo and play with the three characters and
Mhm.
keep going and in and out. That's what made it so much better than the other ones.
Mhm.
Because, like a Marvel vs. Capcom, the first one, your second play would just come in as like a special.
too. Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't think you could switch. I don't remember now. I didn't play that one as much.
I was
Mhm.
just Blanca. Just sit there and do it. Like
Oh yeah, right.
I was
right.
that jerk.
Yeah. All right, so number 4. No, yeah, number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4 is kind of
Is it better-
sentimental.
Is it better than Marky Mark?
Sentimental because it was something that you and I used to play a lot.
Mhm.
And also, I played this a lot at my job too with my
Mhm.
friends.
That's I like.
What do you like about it?
Yeah, we should let you go.
I played it all the time. It was one that we played with when the movie first came out. It's one that when I was at work, we used to play this all the time. It was one of the few games at my job that we had.
Mhm.
So it wasn't one that I necessarily like really gravitated toward in the beginning, but just after playing it so much, like it became a fun game. Plus, it was something that we used to play.
And still stick with the sealed theme.
Yep.
I played that a lot. I really enjoyed the arcade machine. I think the arcade machine of that
Oh yeah,
game
that's the best.
is one of the best
Mhm.
arcade machines.
Right,
That
yeah,
probably
it's
make our
good.
top 5 list for me personally. That game I played a lot with my friends and Nathan. We raced. I like it. It's not my favorite racer though.
We played the crap out of this game.
We did play it a lot.
I'll say this: it's still to this day on the N64, still one of the best looking games.
Yes.
One of the best playing games. Smooth, quick. I can still play that game. There's a lot of N64 games I can't play,
Hmm.
but that one I think to me the graphics are the best current.
Yeah.
Out of maybe Mario's good too, but that one right there to me has the best graphics.
Yeah.
And one of the best sounds too.
And it has
Yeah,
good all around.
Yeah, I like a little bit more of a gotcha in my racing games. Like that's why it's like to me, that or Mario Kart 64. I'd rather play Mario Kart 64 because you can
Right.
do things in the game to each other and mess. And this more is like a skill,
Mhm.
which I enjoy, but also like just shooting the blue shells at whoever's in first and lightning bolt people. So I kind of gravitate more that way. But I'd still play this game if someone's like, hey, you want to play? I would, yeah,
We'd
heck
still
yeah, I would still
that one.
play.
Your number 4?
My number 4. Okay, where did you go? Yeah. I went Mario Party.
Mario Party, the first one.
Now, I prefer the second one. I just grabbed this one.
Okay.
I have the second one, though.
So number 2 is your favorite.
Yes, number 2 is my favorite.
All right.
And so, as far as this is where it gets into,
Is this because you could always play it because everybody?
we have a big family, I have a bunch of cousins, and this came in at the age where we were all playing games still, and we had that in the 64 room. We had like a little game room at my grandparents' house, and every Saturday morning we would play Mario Party. And so there's definitely better Mario Parties out there, I
Yeah.
would say, but this is the one I gravitate to because this is the one I have. We played that every Saturday morning for years. I mean, and then we always matured whenever the next one came out. We played 2, play 3, when we got the GameCube ones and all that stuff. So we always had Mario Party playing, but this is kind of where it started for us. And so that's where, it's more of a representation of a whole Mario Party series, but if I had to pick one, this is just where it started for us. And so,
Same for you?
Yeah. Same thing. Yep.
'Cause
we,
you would
we
play-
all played with the family.
and yeah,
Every Saturday morning, we'd play together. A lot of ours, I think, at least for me, a lot of mine's gonna be like nostalgic, just playing with family.
Yeah.
Ones that, like we were talking about in the very beginning, you play hours and hours, either yourself or with your friends or family.
Right.
These are all ones that I did that we played like that with family and friends.
For me, I was an only child.
Mhm.
I didn't have that many friends who even play video games anymore. I was a full-blown adult
Mhm.
working for a living
Mhm.
when this sucker came out, and I come home and played games by myself. So I had no reason to play Mario Party.
yeah.
So that for me, I never played any of the
Mhm.
Mario Parties back when they came out. Well, I'll take that back. I probably tried it for a minute here or there.
Mhm.
but I really didn't start playing Mario Parties until Lily wanted to play them.
Mhm.
My daughter, about maybe 3 years ago.
Mhm.
So I don't have much Mario Party
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. Mhm.
All right. So Oz, give me one of your top 5 games of all time.
Earthbound.
Earthbound.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Customers out on the floor, y'all have a top 5 game?
KOTOR.
All right.
Oh.
Not on which, on Xbox?
Xbox.
On the
yeah.
original
I still have
Xbox.
my original 2 copies.
I'm surprised
Wow.
that might not be in one of y'all's boxes. So
Mhm.
yeah, was a big game.
Yeah, I highly recommend. I mean, you can play it on pretty much anything now, which is awesome.
Yeah,
The first one, at least.
yeah.
That's an awesome mess, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, speaking of.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah, and that I liked Knights of the Republic, but it was whenever I just remember getting stuck on that game
Yeah.
and getting frustrated with it, and that's when I was younger. I need to go back now and play because I know it is one of the great games for sure.
Oh yeah.
And so
Huge
that's definitely
game.
a good one. I need to go back and play it.
So you got it.
I have bought it from you. I have the first and second one I bought a long time from you. I need to go back and play them now. So
So Oz, why do you like Earthbound so much? Quick comment.
It's just a really silly, whimsical game, and it was unlike anything else at the time.
Cause of the playing area, it was just a regular your regular
I played
world.
it way later, but like it has this very like wholesome facade, but when you get into it, it's like very deep and thought-provoking.
Mhm.
It just like, catches you off guard.
Okay. All right. So we're on to number
3.
3. Number 3 for me. Golden Axe on the Genesis.
Mhm.
All right. Why did I like this game so much? Why did I play it so much? 3 different characters to choose from, right? All of them pretty cool. What I loved about this game, it was during the height of the side-scrolling walk to the right beat 'em ups. But what made this game different at the time was the depth of the playing field. It wasn't just Mario 2D playing. It was you could move up and down, this way. You can move in the foreground and background. So that's one of the reasons why I liked it, and I loved that era that it was in, and the opening sequence when I don't remember what it like a character came up in the cloud, and the sound, it just kind of grabbed you from the intro. But I played this one from beginning to end. It was harder. But me and my friends, it was a great 2-player game, so I did have one friend next door that would play it with me sometimes, and it just had the replay value on it for me was big, and probably back then the sounds were okay doing 16-bit, but I would turn down the volume and play the whole tape of Metallica Ride the Lightning because it matched this era so well, and so that kept me playing it even more. I think it just happened one day. I had the tape on, I was playing this, and I went, oh my god, that music matches this style of gameplay, so I just turned this down, and that's how I used to play this one, with Ride the Lightning going in the background, But Golden Axe.
I have to say, Golden Axe is one of my favorite games of all time for sure.
Is it in your box?
It is not in my box.
So
So what kept me away is I think I of course prefer the arcade version of it. I love the arcade game of it, being able to play with everybody else, and the characters are so different in the game. They're different enough,
real quick comment. My favorite guy was the main guy here,
The
on
barbarian
the
guy.
barbarian, but I couldn't beat the game with it. I could only beat it with a little dwarf.
Dwarf. That's who I played. I
That's
always played the
the only
dwarf.
way I
That's
could
what I
beat
played
that
too in
game was
arcade.
with the dwarf.
Yeah.
I could not beat him with any other character.
And then I have to. This is where I come in and say I have not played the Genesis version of this game. I kind of missed Genesis. I was still playing Genesis. My friend had one, and we would play Sonic games mostly. So I didn't get to experience this. I played the Game Boy Advance version, which actually I think is a pretty good port to the Game Boy Advance. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty good.
Patooey.
Yeah. It would be in my arcade. That's another spoiler. It's going to be in my arcade top 5 for sure, though.
Okay. Any
Same thing. I played arcade really. I didn't really play the Genesis version.
Yeah.
It's like all y'all, the dwarf.
the dwarf?
We need to. I'm gonna have to go and get that now too and play it on the Genesis.
All right, Nate, you're number 3.
My number 3 is a toss-up, but it'd be this game, Need for Speed Carbon, or Tokyo Stream Racer. Those are the two.
What
They're
made
a tie.
to me? Let me ask you this: what made you like Carbon over Most Wanted?
The music. I just remember it's the one copy I had, always played. This the music, the graphics. That was the one I.
That's the game you had. So
that's the game I had.
played.
That's what I played. And
It is a great game.
yeah.
And it's all at night, right?
Oh yeah.
If I remember right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. And like I said, the music was the biggest thing I remember
Yeah.
playing about this. And but yeah, that and Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero are probably tied for top 3.
Top 3. Okay.
Yep.
And you didn't bring that one. You didn't have
Nope,
that
I
one.
didn't have.
You have it, but you couldn't
I
find
couldn't
it.
find it. Yeah.
That's probably the racing game I had the most experience is with Tokyo Extreme Racer Zero. It was great for the time. I love going on the streets and then flashing your lights and racing people, and we had so much invested in that. But I haven't gone back and played it. We played a lot of
Yeah.
it, so it's not something I've gone back to yet. I would go back to it, I think, though. So it might be a slight oversight on not being on my list, but I do enjoy it. Did you ever play Extreme Racer Zero or anything like that?
For me, all the Tokyo, the drifting type games, I would try it on a demo or something. But I liked like Carbon better, or the Need for Speeds, like the Run, like which one was it on? Need for Speed 3, or the first Road and Track Need for Speed. I like straight up. Like you like the ones where you can throw stuff and do stuff. Those are fun. Like that style. But me, I like the pure, solid, maybe with a little bit of arcadey to them. Arcadiness to them. That's why I like Most Wanted.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're out here doing donuts.
Yeah.
Or your tail end comes out from under you, not so much a drift.
Yeah.
But you can do that too a little bit. But no, I never really played the drift games so much.
Yeah. So I would say, like, I have more fun playing like the Mario 64, the Mario Kart type games
Yeah.
with other people, but I don't play them by myself. Like, I can't play that game by myself.
Gotcha.
So
That's-
I have more fun with it with other people, and then I like how you like the straight laced racing games.
That's probably why I never really was into kart or play games like that, because you had to have other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't really go and play like versus the computer. That I did back in the day, but now it doesn't do it for me. I have to have other people there, racing around me and the
I'm the
camaraderie.
same way now. I can't race against computers. I always want to be online racing against somebody.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we played
Yeah.
Forza so much, is we love Forza.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You're number 3?
my number 3.
Dun dun dun.
You ready for
Oh no, here
contention?
Let's see. Halo 2.
Halo 2.
All right.
Now, this is when you started in the very beginning. You talked about hours you had invested in the game. This game probably has it might be the second most hours I have in any game ever. Me and my friends played the crap out of this game when it came out because of multiplayer,
Yeah.
and then I played at home online. I mean, this was like high school, junior high for us the whole time. And this is my favorite. Halo 1 is really good. I prefer Halo 2, and then after 2, forget it. They don't really come close to Halo 2.
Yeah.
The map pack, I love the maps they made for this game. So this I have and the story, I like the story. The multiplayer was excellent.
I see why you bought that then. Why you
Yes.
wanted that one.
Yes.
sealed.
I have a few copies because I'm going to go back and I'm going to hook up all the Xbox 360s and do the
The
LAN party. Yeah.
That was
Mhm.
huge back then.
Yeah.
We did that all the time.
And the 2, I played it a little bit too that way, and I could see where, and like I said, for me, I like 1 better, but it's because I didn't play multiplayer ever.
Yeah.
Hardly back then, so I only played campaign. But I could see why everybody was gravitated towards 2, because you could do the LAN multiplayer, things like that. And it was kind of new at that time, and you know what it was? I got a hold of Unreal Tournament on the PC. Mouse, keyboard, nothing compared to it. So that's probably why I remember now playing this one online, going, doesn't hold a candle to Unreal Tournament, because Unreal Tournament was so precise. This one you had the controller, and it was a little tough. I mean, they did have a little bit lock on to it, but that's probably why I didn't play it as much, because I had Unreal. But it was I could tell it was a good game for the console for sure.
And one of the first ones where you could have so many people on it, and you could LAN party like 4 Xboxes up,
Exactly,
and you could have a big group. I don't remember ever being able to do that beforehand, really,
No,
where you
yeah,
could have
it
all the
was-
people in.
It was really good. So
Yeah. So many a game nights spent playing that.
All right, number 2.
Yep.
Mattel Electronic Football Part 2. I know since the reason I'm putting this out now because you didn't you have a non-console game, and I know this is not a console game, but I got this before I even got any consoles, right? And it is an individual game. Probably I remember I got this in I think it was '79, so I was about 8, almost 9 years old, and this is the original one. This is my original one from '79.
Wow.
Oh wow.
The only thing I lost was the back, and I took this off. Somebody traded in a baseball game, and I just took the brown one. This is my original one that I got, and I remember getting it. It was kind of for Christmas. It was a little bit of. My dad knew I really wanted it. It was like $34.99, something like that. And we went to the mall and picked it up that night. And I remember coming home from the mall, laying down in the back seat, and I could, and I could play it because it was backlit. Think about that, Nintendo. This was backlit.
Yeah.
In '79. Come on, guys.
Took you so long.
Yeah. So I remember laying in the back seat playing this game and going, I can go ahead and die now. That's
How old were you at that age?
8 or 9. I said, I can die now. I've fulfilled my life goal of owning this. And you could pass on this one, where the first one you couldn't pass. I never owned the first one. So this one I probably played for a solid till 1983 for 4 solid years.
Wow.
I played this thing all the time, and how I would play it, I'd have a piece of paper and I'd write rushing. If I rushed for 10 yards, I write rush 10 yards. If I passed for 5, I write pass 5 yards. And I would do my total at the end of the game. How many rushing yards and passing yards I had. I loved football back when I was a little kid. Loved it. Not so much now, but this probably 4 years of playing this. And my dad would actually play this one with me because he was into electronics and it was such a cool gadget. So how many hours I got on this, I don't know. I have no idea. It's that many, but yeah, it was really cool. So I never got rid of it. But I don't know if y'all have any experience with these at all.
I actually do.
All right.
So I got the first one when they repopped them. They made them.
Right.
This was
a long time ago.
A long time ago. This was
late 2000s.
Late 2000s, yeah. And I got one for Christmas. I'm like, okay, this is I'm used to like Game Boys at this point, and everything like that. And I played, and it was like I said, it was the first version. It didn't have the passing like you said, and I played it, and I don't know why, but it captivated me, and I played it a lot. I really enjoy. I don't know what it is about it. Like how can this be so entertaining? But really, I played it for a long time, and that's with the Game Boy Advance, and everything with that being out. And so it was surprising how fun it was for something that was such old technology. And that was like the little repop one they made.
Right.
So I did have experience. I don't know if you ever played any of it.
Nope. My thing by the time was getting late for that, Game Gear.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's probably what it was. That's probably what I stopped playing it because Atari. I had an Atari come out, and then let's see, I was 83. Was there any handheld that I had? I don't remember. But I guess I'd played it so much I was tired of it for 4 years. And actually, at one point, I sold it to the neighbor kid down the street for $20. I remember, and I went over to his house, and he was sitting there playing it, and he goes, screw this thing, and he throws it and it hits the ground, right, and the battery flies out, and I'm looking at him and going, here's your $20 back, I'm taking it back. So I actually did sell it for a day. And I took it back. I'm glad I did. So, but I can't believe it still works.
And it's crazy that's the one that you got too, so that's even more special.
This is my original. This is probably the very first video game I ever owned that was an actual game. Like I had a year before this, I had like a Merlin, and it was a tic-tac-toe game.
Yeah.
And I had a digital derby, which was electromechanical. Those are kind of game, but this was the first. It was an actual game. So really, this is my first game I ever owned in '79. Might have been, I think it was late '79. So this was the very first game I ever truly owned,
Mhm.
and I still have it.
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Number 2 to you.
Number 2.
My childhood.
Oh no! Super Mario Kart.
I don't know how many hours, days, eyes bloodshot bleeding playing this game.
Now, who would
Up
you
all
play
night.
with?
Oh, neighbor kids, friends. Kind of like before the LAN party. All of us would get together. You race, you lose, pass the controller down, and we would have sleepovers with like 5, 10 kids playing this game all night long. All night long.
Yeah, I mentioned my love for it. I played more of the 64 because that's more my generation,
Right.
my kids my age. But I do remember playing this. I remember that Mortal Kombat being out on all the street, like we had a rule in the streets where everybody had a kid, and so it was like there's always kids out everywhere, and wanting to play games or play outside, and so we did play the snot out of that game a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my games are gonna be games that I just a lot of time playing, but also that you spend time playing with your family, your friends, and
'Cause y'all
I'm
have a
more
big
nostalgic.
family.
Yeah,
Y'all
we
have a
come
big
from a big
family.
family. We always had a lot of kids on the street, lots of friends.
Look who just walked in.
It's funny how that steers what games you play.
Yeah.
Like you can see the difference between ours. I
Yeah.
was a single, and
Mhm.
I had to have an older brother, but he lived with his mom.
Mhm.
I lived with my dad. So we didn't, and we lived out of state.
Mm-hmm.
So we never saw each other really, and so but y'all's games I can tell are,
Group,
or especially yours,
Mhm.
Yeah.
are more.
The only one I think I spent most time playing by myself really was the Marky Mark.
Nobody wanted to play that one. Nobody wanted to play that
What's
one.
funny is the kid that always had the Sega stuff, but a lot of my picks are going to be Nintendo just because that's why I spent the most time playing
Right.
with friends.
Right, exactly.
I mean, like I probably would have a separate list just for my Sega, but like just for memories, nostalgic, family playing with a lot of the stuff. Because most of the kids had Nintendo. And when I stayed the night, that's what they had.
Mm-hmm.
It was like playing these Nintendo games.
Yep.
My experience with Super Mario Kart, once again, just like Mario Party, I picked F-Zero over Mario Kart
That's a great game.
at that time because it was more single player. And I really, you got to remember something. When the Super came out, I was an adult.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this was a child's game
Mm-hmm.
at the time, right? So F-Zero was a little bit cooler looking. And racing games kind of during that era sucked.
Mhm.
They were all the same. They're stagnant
Mhm.
kind of, or like Rad Racer. They moved like that.
Mm-hmm.
This was definitely more fun, but it's just like the same thing for me when Smash Brothers came out, the
Mhm.
fighting game. I go, why do I want to fight with these
Mm-hmm.
little kitty characters when I can fight with Liu Kang
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
Mortal Kombat and
Mhm.
pull somebody's spine out?
Mm-hmm.
I was 23 years old, so
Mhm.
that's why I don't have the most experience. And plus, when I bought a Super, I like my Genesis more. So
Mhm.
light games, I'd always play the Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
But
And I'll say a
I
little
played
fun-
it later,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm with you. I like the N64 version better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
I will
but
say this is a little fun fact about this game.
Super
Last
Dave.
year, we got this. My parents got me this. They found a Christmas list from when we were kids, and this was my number one thing on my Christmas
Really?
list
From the 90s. So
from
she
the 90s. So
Number one.
she bought from our old 90s Christmas list. She got whatever we wanted back in the early 90s or whatever.
Oh,
So it's a
okay.
special
another
moment.
going to show you, moms don't throw your stuff away.
That's right. That's right. All right.
Now
Ma-
we're going to do the full turn from all these big multiplayer games. This one's going to be a little bit harder to find. Here we go.
Oh no! Get that out of my face.
Pokemon Blue version. Now, God, I don't even know where to begin with this.
Well, a lot of people your generation that
We're weaned on. I mean, this was the game we grew up with.
and that's the first game a lot of kids ever played.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you my personal favorite experience with this real quick with me and you playing this. When we would go to Blockbuster.
We would go to Blockbuster and we had each had our own game and we had the little connector cable
Right.
and we would go and steal all the Pokemon off Blockbuster.
all the
That's
crappy
right.
ones.
That's right.
And so I played this game definitely, all the time. And of course, it is a representation. I started to lose interest probably around Gold and Silver when they first came out, was whenever I was like getting a little bit like, I love those games. And then I was like, not, I still go and play. I still play the new ones, but Gold and Silver was really kind of special. Like when it was like, starting to lose its,
Yeah.
lure for me as much. It just got too far out there with all the stuff all the different Pokemon they're coming out with. And so it started kind of losing me there. I'll still go back and play them. But Blue version, we stole Pokemon from Blockbuster all the time. we traded with kids, and this was...
What drew you to Pokemon? What was it that you kept playing? What did you love about it?
I loved going out and you don't know what you're going to find. And
The
then
adventure
and
of
then the adventure. And then the movie had come out, or when the movie came out and you saw like Mewtwo, you're like, oh, I have to get all the
Right.
legend. I have to get Zapdos and Moltres and Articuno. You get the legendary birds in the game, and you had Mewtwo and all that stuff. It's like I was like full on. I have to find these and capture them.
Now, do you have the same love affair with?
Yeah,
were you
at the
too
time
old?
I did. No, I just I played it too, and I just remember. Yeah, I remember stealing it from him, taking it to work and playing it, and all the rest of my friends at work playing it, and we were at lunch breaks and stuff like that. So it was one of those games where like I wouldn't have gravitated toward, but you start playing and you're just like,
Right.
oh, okay, and you kind of get hooked on it.
Well, then also like the cards. I was really big
That's
into the
right.
cards
That-
as a kid.
That made it huge.
And so having like just both of those really like fed the game itself. And I remember making my mom drop me off at school saying, no, go around the loop again. I have to beat the gym leader now. I have to save this. I'm so close to doing. I knew nothing about the game, so I didn't know all the. I didn't know, but I played this. I played so much. I never put that game down for the longest time. And we went on trips a lot, and we drove. We didn't fly anywhere. So you're on a long road trip,
Yeah.
driving to Colorado or stuff like that. I just would play Pokemon the whole time.
And you would be fine.
I
I'd
was
be
playing
fine.
Game Gear.
You had your Game Gear. Well, my thing with Pokemon was I was working. I remember it was some engineering company, right? It was Bring Your Kid to Work Day, and so this kid was sitting next to his mom, and he had his Game Boy, and for 4 hours all that morning, I just saw him doing this, not even looking up. And I said, finally at lunch, I walked over to him. I said, "Hey kid," because I like games. I said, "What game are you playing?" He goes, "Pokemon." Pokemon. Like, leave me the hell alone. I'm playing my Pokemon, right? And I said, "Give me that, kid. Let me see." And I went, "What the heck is this garbage?" Right? And that was in like whenever the year it came out. What was it, 97?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. So that was my first quick little thing on Pokemon. Well, in 04, I think it was 04. No, maybe 05. Now, I was working at another company, and me and my friend went to lunch, and we was playing this claw game that was in the restaurant, and we won a Pikachu. Now at that time I knew Pikachu was, that's it. So grabbed the Pikachu and we just screamed like, yeah, we won, we just won something.
Yeah.
We go, it's Pikachu. He goes, yeah. I said, have you ever played Pokemon? He goes, no. I said, we ought to try it. I think Leaf Green or Emerald, I think it was Leaf Green was out. So I bought it used because at that time at my job we had nothing to do. It was no work, but they didn't let us go yet. So we both had our Game Boys. And we were playing. I go, oh, I can see why this is kind of fun. You fight and you play your Pokemon. And so he got into Leaf Green also, and we were playing, and we beat it in I don't know, not that long. And then I said, hey, let's buy the next one. Let's buy another one. So we bought whichever one was after that. And so I put it down and go, this is the same exact damn game. So we got another. This is the same game.
Yeah.
And after that, I went, oh god.
And that's where like Gold and Silver is like it's the same thing. It's different. It's a new Pokemon, but it's like the basic same
It's
experience.
the basic same game. So, but I saw what the kids finally in 05, what the kids got addicted to, and I thought this is pretty fun. I could see me being a kid, but that one kid, Pokemon.
Yeah.
I don't
was
think
like,
we can go to our next favorite one until you tell your tear-jerker story about your Pokemon cards.
Oh my gosh, everyone on the block had Pokemon cards, and so just by the nature of everybody having stuff, you would get all the nice and holographic cards or expensive cards, like Charizards and Venusaurs and Blastoises, and we all trade. And I remember they even had. I got my mom off an infomercial to buy me Pokemon cards, and they ended up being Japanese ones. I don't even know how that all worked out, but they were so new that no one else had them, even though they had the Japanese script or whatever. It's like kids still want them because the pictures were all new, and so and then also he had worked at the daycare, and so I got him to trade with kids at the daycare for me, and I went there one year, and whatever, and we had the little Pokemon binder. So there's no telling how much expensive cards. And I even, at that point, I was also transitioning into Yu-Gi-Oh! Had just come out, and so I had a binder full of both expensive cards. And then my sister spilled a 2-liter Coke in the binder, and I tried everything. I pulled it out, pulled the cards out, put them out in the sun to dry out, and they were just bowed and wavy and separating. And then I was like, I'm gonna keep them out there and just I'll do whatever I can. And I come back and they weren't out back anymore. Mom's like, oh, they were ruined, so I threw them away.
Oh,
and they probably were ruined. They're probably gonna
Right.
be saved, but not getting to see them again, and then being thrown
Right.
away, devastated. And that was the.
Do you
There's
remember
no.
that?
Oh, I remember it.
We spent
remember.
years literally compiling all those cards. And we had all.
my sister still.
Yeah, no. So that was the heartbreaking Pokemon
Especially now
story.
you see those cards sell for.
Yeah, because
I
we
mean,
had them.
there
You
was
had the
thousands
high
and
dollar
thousands
ones.
of dollars in there.
That's horrible.
Mhm.
So are we to number one?
Number one.
Okay.
Mike's number one. Drum roll.
My number one. Now let me tell something here. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think, oh, you play Call of Duty,
Mhm.
you're not a gamer. You play football, man, you're not a gamer. But it was different back in the day. When I was younger, I loved football. I wanted to be a football player, and then I never got big enough.
Mhm.
Right? I stayed skinny.
Mhm.
All right, so I switched to basketball. But I still always watched football. Love football. So to me, John Madden '93. If I don't play Maddens anymore. I still play. I probably should have put 2K5. I really like that, and that's an honorable mention on the Dreamcast or on the original Xbox. But do I go back and play that one? Not really. If I just want to play a football game, still to this day, I will play John Madden '93. I played this game when '94 came out. I hated it, so I just went back to '93. '95 came out. I think that was the first year for the PS1, and they didn't have a Madden. Something happened, and I remember, and Madden got delayed or something. And the Saturn version looked so awful that I didn't play. I think I did eventually buy Game Day on the PS1, but later. But for 3 solid years, like this one came out late '92, so '92 through '95. I played this game, and I still, when I want to play a football game, I still will play this title.
Mhm.
It's just the game, the actual gameplay. What it is that how fast you are with your thumb. It's true old school gameplay. You can move your player, outmaneuver the defense with your thumb, outmove your player. It still plays really well. It's just a fun game, and so I'll probably have. It's one of those again. I don't know how many hours I got because I play it all the time.
Mhm.
So I know it's a little bit blah, but for me,
It's the one you played, yeah.
I mean,
Madden
I've
93.
been mine. Those are the ones I always played. Those are the ones you don't forget. I mean, there's a lot of games I know we could probably sit here and talk about the Mortal Kombats and everything else. And those are all great games, and those were games I remember playing with my friends too. But it's the ones I guess that gravitate to when I was younger, and just being like in the house playing with your friends just all day long.
I have no experience playing. I don't like any of the football games.
Right.
But that was mainly I played one of the crappy in-between year ones. I think on the N64 probably. And it was like
Like
this
NFL
is-
QB Club.
Yeah,
or
it was something
like that.
stupid. It was like because my friend got it. It was probably a bargain bin special, and it was like this is terrible. And I've not liked football games since. I know they're probably really good now and really popular too.
Actually, I don't like Madden now.
Yeah.
I still, if I want to play a current kind of football game, I will update rosters on NFL 2K5, 15-year-old game. That's if I really want to play something with current players.
Yeah.
But if I just want to play a game, this is the one I play.
Yeah. So I don't have much experience with it. I got bad taste in my mouth left from the N64 era
Right,
of football games.
All right, Nate, you're number one.
Number
Drum roll.
one. My number one is probably
Probably. Oh no.
not just because.
Okay, wait,
we're
hold on
playing
one
games.
second. Actually, that's not my number one favorite game of all time. There's an arcade game that's my number one favorite of all time, and you'll find that out in
Yeah.
the next video.
We're gonna have a whole new video for that.
So your number one game? Oh, where'd you get that one at?
I got this at actually
Same thing as
same
it.
thing. This was one of my games on the list in the '90s for Christmas list.
Now, did you have it in the '90s?
Yes,
You did.
yes, I did.
Now, what makes
And
you
I
love
couldn't-
that game?
I played everything. I love everything GI Joe even to this day.
Let me see this. This is a nice box too. You didn't see white boxes back in the day. So what? So you played? How many hours you think you got?
Oh God, I don't even know.
400 plus.
The games that I can remember like really playing with my Nintendo, of course you know Mario, but the two games I remember like sticking out the most that I played the most was this and Excite Bike.
Right.
On Nintendo. But this game, I had the action figures growing up, the cartoons, just it was everything. You know what I'm saying? Not just playing the game, but just I love GI Joe.
Right.
And even to this day, I still have some GI Joe stuff. I never have let that go. So
Yeah, it's pretty rare in a game now, huh? Too, right? You don't really see them that much.
No, we don't see it because you know why? Because back then it didn't sell that much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I probably it's one of those games you just when you're looking to rent a game or buy, you totally overlook it.
Mm-hmm.
this is the game I remember begging my parents for.
So you wanted this game because you love GI Joe.
Because I love GI Joe. Had all action figures. I had, of course, watched the cartoons.
Now rate the game in true, like if you did not love GI Joe, how good is the game? If you did not love G.I. Joe.
That might be hard for me to do.
Like, I mean, if I'm gonna like an unbiased, maybe like a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be biased and say 12.
Right.
Out of
Right.
10.
I don't even have a memory playing. I know you had it. It was on your Christmas list, and I remember all that stuff. I think we might have pictures of you open it, maybe.
I do.
But I don't. I think this. You know, what this was. I think this was one of the games where I wasn't allowed to touch it. That was his game, and he would.
No, this was a game that I would not share with my brother or my family. This game, like,
Was it a 2-player?
I don't know if it's. I've never played it.
I don't know. I never
like
played
it.
with him, but I think it would. Yeah, it was 2-player.
Is it?
But I remember begging my parents for this game. This was the one game. I don't care if you only give me one thing for Christmas. It better be this game.
And you got it.
And I got it. And when, like you said, kind of hard to find. And over the years, I've tried to track this game down with like little luck. And parents came through.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any experience with this one.
I don't either.
So, but I can understand because of GI Joe. I mean, and that is a big deal too. Like if you like when a parent comes in here, they go, I don't know what to buy my kid. I go, what cartoon do they like? Do they do they like Madagascar the cartoon? Do they like Shrek the cartoon? And then I'll just buy the game that has Shrek on it if they like Shrek. And they're going to like the game.
Yeah.
Same as this situation here, probably.
That is exactly what it was. I remember, I briefly can remember the commercial for it, but for me, it was the cartoons, the cartoon movies, the toys, the action figures.
It was huge. The
I mean,
toys
it was huge, and I was obsessed with it. Obsessed with it.
Yeah, it was right at the edge. When those toys came out, I liked toys, but I couldn't admit it.
Yeah.
I think I did have a couple G.I. Joe characters, but you weren't going to talk about it at school.
Yeah.
So, but all right, G.I. Joe #1. All right.
I'm gonna do honorable mentions now.
Oh, you got honorable mentions. All
Skyrim.
Right.
Is great. The problem with it is it's so like over. It's like like those. It's like the best songs of the '90s or 2000. It's like it's so overplayed now that it's been so drawn out that after the first expansion, I haven't really played it and gone back because even now I feel like man, I've had my fill with that game. I played it a lot.
You know what's funny? I noticed that about like maybe 360, PS3, maybe a little bit original Xbox and PS2. It's not too often I go back and play those games, but cartridge-based games, I go back a lot.
Yeah.
And play those.
Yeah.
They're just fun.
Yeah.
Well,
You
if
pick
we're
up
gonna
the
do honorable
controller, you'll
mention,
remember.
I gotta do my honorable mention for first. Mario Party 3.
Yeah.
That'd be my honorable mention for
Okay.
first.
And then also I have Double Dragon. Me and him used to play Double Dragon all the time.
NES.
Yep. And so Double Dragon is up there.
It almost made my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's mainly me and him playing a lot. And then my other one I had another
Honorable
one. It'll come back to me. My number one.
Number one. Here we
So
go.
what's the big thing right now is superhero stuff, superhero games, superhero movies.
Right.
So, Superman for the Nintendo 64
that's not-
is not my number one
Alright,
game.
I get-
Like I said, mine is not a console game.
Okay, yeah. No, so you don't have it here.
No,
Alright.
I'll put a little screenshot up. World of Warcraft when it first came out, 2004 or 6 around there. I can't remember now. Early 2000s. I still go back and forth to this day and play that game 16 years later. My original character, the last time I looked, and this was years ago, had over 30 days of in-game time played. So that's, 30,
Right.
24-hour days. And that's just one character, and I had a lot of different characters.
Right.
I have months and years in that game.
So you didn't have friends in real life.
Exactly, yeah. Well, my friends in real life played that game too, and we all grouped up and played on our computers.
Right.
And down the road, there used to be a game store called Neo Gamers, and we would go there, and they had the Alienware
That
computers.
guy is supposed to be in here right now. The owner of the Neo Game he's supposed to drop off a check. In
I would
an arcade.
love to talk to him because I love that place. They had the
Yeah.
Alienware computers that had the best internet, and they had the jailbroken Xboxes, so you could play all the different hacked games on there and
And it'd be
everything.
cool if he walks in the door. He's supposed to come tonight to drop off a check. 'Cause he's
Yeah.
fine. That's what.
What about you, Mike? What's your favorite PC game?
My favorite PC game now? My issue with PC is that they were expensive, right? But one time, I don't know, I can't remember how I picked it up, but in the late 90s, I was able to get a nice PC. Probably my number one PC game, and I don't have a ton of PC experience, is Unreal Tournament. That game, I think it was in about 99. It could have been barely 2000, maybe just right at 2000, because it was the first, Call of Duty style, Halo 2 style game that I played, and maybe the Quake was maybe a hair before, but I never liked Quake's setup. But Unreal Tournament had great backgrounds. It was like Mortal Kombat-ish, the atmosphere, and the precision with the mouse. And I would wake up. That's one of the games I would wake up a little early and play it before I went to work online, or come home at lunch and play it. And I played that thing for probably until my PC sucked, until it just couldn't handle the online and everything. Probably for a good year and a half, I'd play probably Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
That's my number
I'd
one.
probably say my favorite PC game of all time playing was Red Alert Yuri's Revenge. That's one of those ones I
Which
remember.
one was it?
Red Alert Yuri's
Oh
Revenge.
yeah, right.
That was one of those ones where all my friends would get together and do LAN parties and play that game. We'd play that game all night long too. So yeah.
You reminded me. My other honorable mention, I don't even know how I forgot. We've mentioned multiple times. Is Mortal Kombat. Probably 2 or 3, just because I remember that's the game. That's the first game I was like, I have to sneak to play this. I can't let that.
Yeah,
and also,
yeah.
I say, as a kid, we snuck and played Grand Theft Auto 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that was like the real sneaking. But
Right,
at
that
first,
was
the
real
first
sneak.
one I had to sneak and play was Mortal Kombat at our neighbor's house, and I remember playing just button mashing Reptile and turning invisible, and I don't know where I am. He doesn't know where I am, and it was just like we were like, oh my goodness, what
Right.
happened? We didn't know he could do that, and so just those crazy little off the wall moments.
Grand Theft Auto 3, man, that's a tough one too, because real quick, like when I told you about honorable mention Superman, that game you could go anywhere on the screen, left, right, up, or down, and it was really unusual for an Atari game. There wasn't a lot to do in that game, but you could fly. And ever since that moment, I always wanted to play an open world game. I knew that's what I wanted to play, but it was impossible to exist until the technology got better. The first kind of little tweak that I could play that was when Twisted Metal came out on the
Yeah,
PS1. I would kill everybody except for one person, just drive around. I'll just drive around. Park in the driveway of a house, and here comes Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
I better get out of here. And I go down and wherever, and I'll just drive around. But when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out on the PS2, I dropped everything.
What about you? What's your favorite Grand Theft Auto?
Grand Theft Auto 3 for sure too. That's I think
Miami
the
Vice.
first. Yeah.
No,
For the soundtrack.
It's better.
Yeah.
It's
The
better.
soundtrack, just for the soundtrack alone.
And the motorcycles
Yeah.
and things like
Yeah.
that.
The
But
Grand Theft Auto was like the fact that, like it wasn't even like it was just be like seeing a car and you can go get it.
right.
That was crazy.
And I wanted to do that. Imagine this. Imagine if you wanted to do that since 1983.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
It took 18 years for it to
And
happen.
like you said though, it's true too. Also, I remember whenever we were playing it, because I don't remember the first two. I played 3. It was like that was okay. Everybody, no one's playing Halo anymore. No one's playing any other game. Everybody's playing Grand Theft Auto.
And even though the graphics were way subpar
Mhm.
for what was out at that
Mhm.
time, I didn't care. The thing that instantly blew me away, besides getting in the car, was when I walked somebody, they talked to
Yeah.
you,
Mhm.
or they said something. I went, "Whoa,
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
is crazy."
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, but Vice City, I love that one
Mhm.
probably more.
Mhm.
But it was the first time for 3 that it was a
I just
true
remember
open
all the,
world.
there's a few games that I can think back growing up that, controversial that make the news.
Mhm.
And that was definitely the one I remember getting like the most attention.
Mhm.
Dave, Super Dave, we're doing a video here. What is one of your top favorite games of all time? Come over here and tell me real quick.
Can't think of it right now.
Escape
the
from
cuff?
Monkey Island?
No, the original Monkey Island.
And the original Monkey Island, one of your favorite?
What about Hagani? He has Hagani.
Are you selling me Hagani?
Maybe.
How much?
I don't know if you go that high though.
What's your dollar amount?
Yeah.
200 bucks.
I'll give you 201.
We'll talk about it later. All right.
If
so,
you get it, you have to let me know.
If what?
If you get Hagani, you have to let me know.
All right, I'll let you know. If Dave mentions it, he might sell it.
If Dave sells it, then miracles.
That's be a miracle.
A
if Dave
miracle.
sells
That
it.
is a miracle day.
All right, so I guess that's it. We'll wrap it up.
Mhm.
We're gonna have our next video. Hopefully, we'll do about our top 5 arcade games.
Mhm.
For me, the arcade was my first love.
Mhm.
So I spent a ton of time, even before there were arcades, playing pinballs.
Yeah.
So it might take me a while to do that.
I know
but-
top 5 for arcades is going to be pretty tough because I have a lot of I grew up with Chuck E. Cheese and the go-kart track down the road and the arcades and they're playing all the different games. So it's going to be hard to narrow down.
It's gonna be
5
tough.
arcade games is going to be tough.
Same here. I grew up with that too.
All right, we're signing off V8-Bit channel.
See you next
See you
time.
next time.
Subscribe.